Hello, and welcome to another episode here on CapTech. This is something for my Southern Illinois people. Fear and Loathing in Little Egypt, a time traveler's guide to 1990s Southern Illinois culture. Let's dive in. So we're setting the time machine back to the 90s. If you're looking for something to do today, my current video here will not be of all that much use. So I wanted to talk about what I was and wasn't covering, at least from a geographic perspective. So I'm not going to be tapping into St. Louis or Carbondale. Those areas are going to get videos sometime down the line when I get to them. Today I'm going to talk about God's country right here, what I have pictured, kind of up to St. Louis, down through like DuQuoin, DeSoto. Want to make sure I get Mount Vernon and Centralia and a little bit of breeze in there. Anyway, let's go on. That's what we're covering today. So I don't usually include a starring page, and I know those of you that are watching that video, certain ones are wondering, is he going to use my real name? And no, I use nicknames and initials where nicknames were not available. So no worries there. A word from our sponsors. Try Joe's Elderberry Wine. It's fantastic pretty much all the time, anytime, with anything. Thank you. Now let's dive in the content. You say you just got a time machine and you want to go back to late 90s Southern Illinois? Sure, who could blame you? Where would you go? Here's a list of some drinking establishments that would be great. First, I would go to R&R's Last Call Tavern. It has an outdoor music venue, an indoor music venue, a sports bar on the inside, a turkey shoot, a drive-in, not a movie. You can, get whatever you want from this bar in the drive-in, or you could in the day. I've sometimes had a laundromat over the years. A lot of ways to get in and out of this place, and plenty of friends who live close enough that they can you can sleep there, for the night. Speaking of which, this house over here was where I was for the greatest Super Bowl party ever. And kind of a little VIP residence on site there. What a great place it was. Next, same ownership. We've got the Jolly Acre, also referred to as the Jolly Roger. This is a current photo, looked a little better in its day and had some different painting on it. I've remocked the sign to say Jolly Acre again. But just a fantastic country bar. Poor acoustics. I mean, there's concrete floor. But people would show up on four-wheelers. Like, what a wonderful place. And, even if you got bad acoustics, heck, at least they had music. It's better than nothing. Anyway, just some of the best times of my life out there at the Jolly Roger, as we called it. Next, Club E, one of my favorite places on earth. Now, there's only so much I can say about Club E. It was close to the Boy Scouts in where they meet in Austin. I'm sorry, in Ashley. And we've got it circled here. It's where the after party was for a good decade. Just a wonderful, wonderful place, and I'm sorry that I can't say more about it in a public forum. Next, Beehive 2. Beehive 2 had good ratios, loose social norms, and multiple entrances and exits, so you could get out of there in any which way, any direction you wanted really easily. You can see the back road here for the Higley Roadway back to Nashville. Just a blast of a time here at the Beehive. Next, the Centralia scene, the Ottawa of the South, if you will. Centralia is very similar to Ottawa, except I think their zoning laws must be weaker. Like, it seems like they have restaurants next to trailers. Like their zoning didn't get out ahead there, and I think the Green Grill, unfortunately, I don't know if they're still around. But down in this general district, there was three, or actually two places down here I wanted to mention: Basics and Neons, and then I think actually, yeah, Neons became the Underground, or the Underground opened a block away from it under a church or whatever it was. And Basics was just kind of a time kill for us to go, before going to the Underground. And It was great. You show up with your own beer because it's after hours, and you would give them, they'd give you like 6 tickets if you brought 6 beers, and then you would tip them, I think, for serving your own beer. Serving you your own beer, but you could party like without the liquor laws and didn't have to close down at a certain time every day because of that. Really something. I'd probably fall asleep if I tried that now, but anyway, I'd still hit that up if I had a time machine. And I've never actually tried it, but I always heard that Rumors stayed open. A place called Rumors stayed open even later to like 5 a.m. Maybe even 24 hours a day. But I never made it that late. But that was part of the scene. Next. Oh yeah, the best times here. So the Hells Boys would play the Mount Vernon Holiday Inn, and we would get comped rooms, or they would get comped rooms, and we'd follow them around like groupies, and we would be able to stay at this hotel and go watch them play in the hotel lobby and party it up after and during intermission with the band. Just a wonderful time to be had. I couldn't find a. It was a Holiday Inn over the years, and it was the Ramada Inn over the years, and I couldn't find a adequate photo of it, so I just found a similar building there in the Taj Mahal. Next, the Du Bois Radom Crawl. So I didn't do this one a ton, but I know there's Malawi's, the White House, and the Mule Barn. They take really good care of you, give you really strong drinks. And I also heard a rumor once that because there's railroad tracks that run through here, that somebody that was actually driving a train stopped, like the engineer or whoever, conductor, and like actually stopped and drank at it on the train and got in trouble. But I don't know anything more about that rumor. Next, the WAMAC scene. So WAMAC stands for Washington and Marion and Clinton counties because it's at the intersection of them. And that little area had a couple of hot spots. Basically because bars could stay open later there because there's a lot of factories and a lot of shift work and people are getting off work at different times. So there was a place called Dave's Chicken Ranch, which is pictured here, where you could hit golf balls into the water. It was really something. And the Hells Boys once opened for Steppenwolf there, I believe. The Born to Be Wild. Really a great time. And then, like I said, the industrial's around, and that's open all the dang time because of the shift work around there. You can drink at 9 a.m. if you so desired. So yeah, that's the WAMAC scene. Next, the Blue Room in beautiful downtown New Minden, Illinois, pictured here rather accurately. And an amazing spot as well back in the day. Took Rude Dog there for his 21st birthday. And just really a neat place. This adequate. It looks like if you bumped into it, you'd knock it over, but it has been or was there a while. So it's a place. It's a good time to have a few drinks before you. Good place to have a few drinks before you go somewhere else, but a real pleasant atmosphere. Next, the greatest bar of the 90s Southern Illinois era, I would say, and people were hoping for City Nights or the one, City Nights up in Breeze, but I'm going to go with Shattuck Roadhouse. Just a fantastic place. Had a buddy that worked there. You could get a drink basically filled with booze in a large styrofoam cup. It was in the middle of nowhere. There's a great rivalry between some of us and the locals. Just a just a great spot for years on end. Just debaucherous, just a debaucherous place. Next, what didn't make the list and why? So these places could have changed since. I'm just talking about how they were back in the day. They're probably fine to go to now. But Van Zant's Bar on 51 there, North Carbondale. I don't put that on the list because I didn't want to get stabbed. Vanity, because it was kind of rough back in the day. I'm sure it's fine now. Vanity, I had a buddy going there, and he tried to order a Bud Light, and they said Bud Light is for regulars. This is 20 years ago or whatever, and told him to basically telling him to move on. So he ordered a Bloody Mary instead, and it was like tomato juice and vodka, like no nothing. Anyway, I thought that was kind of a strange way of treating a new customer, but anyway, I'm sure it's fine by now. 20 years ago. Dottie's Body Shop, never been there. Well, I wish I could say I haven't been there. Never been there without wishing that I wasn't there. More power to them, but what's the proper age to actually have to retire from stripping? And not as a political platform, but maybe we should consider mandatory retirement age for strippers. I don't know, but Dottie's is the reason I've come to that conclusion. If that tells you anything. And then there's 4 more over the years. Adult bars by DeSoto, Illinois, which was just north of Carbondale. The other bar, which has since closed down, was my favorite of those. But if you look at their population in DeSoto, they have one strip club for every 100 people or something. I don't know exactly what the ratio would be, but it would be just, if you've got 3 or 4 of them in a town of, a couple thousand max, that it's, wow, it's really, if you're into that kind of thing, that's probably where you'd want to go live. But anyway, those are the ones I didn't put on my list and why. And then the other things I'd want to hit up in my time machine would be the DuQuoin State Fair. Heck with the Springfield State Fair. I don't need it. The DuQuoin Street Machine Nationals. Wow. DuQuoin's gotten a little fancy. I was at a brewery there recently and was sitting at a table next to Bruce Rauner, the governor, incumbent governor today. But back in the day, DuQuoin was a lot more fun. It was not governor worthy necessarily, but you would have a blast. It's like a little Mardi Gras with streetcars. Anyway, Polish Fest in Radom, Radom picnics. The Hungry Trucker Special is something you would do after any of these bars. At the Little Nashville, you can go off menu and order the Hungry Trucker Special, and it is just, plates and plates of every breakfast food imaginable. I could recite it by heart at one time. Hegemeyer's Hunt Club. There's a guy that got pretty liquored, and at the after party from that party did a shot of tequila out of an ashtray. Really an amazing thing. And those parties, the EPA would freak out probably because we were burning tires and stuff back in the day. I'm sure they're fine now, but whoa, some good times out there. How about the Hughley Elkton party busts, some local legend of, everybody from, 100 kids or whatever getting drug off in a, by the cops for being underage or whatnot, in giant buses. Then you got the Hofbräu Fest in Hoyleton. You'd have to, it's like a family festival, but you can get drunk because it's like German beer based. Themed, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, the St. Laborie chicken and beer dances. I have some early memories of shirtless people hanging from the rafters, which is a wonderful thing, wonderful memory, for a 20-year-old to have or whatever. My Fest, Nashville's Little Beer Fest. They let me manage some finances for it once. I didn't do real well. Pretty easy to comp beer for your friends and stuff, and then I'd stop by Carlisle Lake out by Breeze, and that's where they make ski and stuff. That's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.